We are live 364 days a year.
What are we doing here?
If Dom turns at SummerSlam, I'm shaving my moustache off. I've told you, if that happens, it's going. My lip is cold because of a stupid bet that I made with YouTube.
Oh, good.
Wrestle's better than Daniel Bryan. Bryan Daniels. Better than Okada.
How do you not get sushi after Monday Night Raw?
Good evening from Swansea wrestling fans. We got a really exciting show for you guys today. We're going to be answering the hot takes which you guys have submitted to us via our Instagram. I'm back after basically doing part-time for a week because it was my brother's 18th birthday week. And basically, I now know how it feels like to be a wrestler in the 80s, minus, well, the steroids. I've got a bad back, I'm completely all over the place from partying too much, but I'm ready to talk some wrestling today. And joining me firstly is the birthday man himself, not my brother, but Anthony Ricciardi. How are you, Ant?
Doing all right, even on my birthday, I'm doing a show. No, but it's always fun to do these. It's rare that I'm able to do a Mailbag Monday, and I'm very much looking forward to getting into it.
Absolutely. We got numero one Superfly in the chat, Roundhead in the chat, and Fernando Zayas in the chat as well. Shout out to each one of you guys. Make sure to leave a like as well because that massively helps us out. But also joining us, we have the other Ant here at Wrestling Republic. Ant, you, how are you today, Ant?
First of all, I'd just like to say happy birthday to Anthony. Even
Thank
though
you.
You're from Philly, I still love you, brother. But yeah, man, I'm glad to be here on the Mailbag Monday. This third show in a row for me, so super excited about that. The weekend was great, but let's kick this SummerSlam week off with a banger. Let's go, guys.
Absolutely. We got Fernando saying happy birthday,
Thank
Anthony,
you.
in the chat as well. And without further ado, let's get into this first hot take once my phone actually loads it, because the first one submitted to us today is by, here it is by at the real, flipping heck, I've already botched the name and we're a minute into the show. The first take today is submitted by at the unreally FC _Brandon, who says John Cena's heel run is dull and predictable. I mean, I'll say this, right, out of the gates here. Both of these Cody Rhodes programs to me have massively under-delivered. Both of them have kind of felt like not major feuds outside of the fact that it's now a heel John Cena. Something about them isn't really clicking for me, so I agree in that regard. But the part which I disagree with is I think it would have been even more boring and even more predictable if he was a babyface during this. But Anthony, I'm going to go to you first. What is your opinion on this take?
Honestly, the Cena heel turn, I was on the post show after it, and the question was, I think you phrased, Ben, at the time, was this as big as the Hogan turn at Bash at the Beach in '96? And I said no. And I stand by that, and that's pretty much aged well. The Cena heel turn, to me, I don't know if there was stuff behind the scenes for that. I don't know if this was the Rock thing, because they allegedly, not to get into dirt sheets, but allegedly wanted Cody to turn or whatever, and Cena was like the backup plan. This was kind of half-baked, the entire run. The entire run has not been good. And I know a lot of people are like, well, the fans, longtime fans always wanted Cena as the heel. So it's kind of like the check in the box, like the Punk match and the Orton match. And in some ways you could say that. I think the positive can come out of this, the salvageable way out of this, because I think he could have a monster run as a heel if they do the double turn this weekend. They do the WrestleMania 13, Cena becomes a babyface, and Cody becomes the monster heel that we know he can be, the Homelander that we're all anticipating at some point. I think that's the only thing that salvages this. Cena was never going to leave with the belt. He was never going to leave with the history. And I really didn't think they would want Cena to go out as the heel either. They want the rah-rah Cena. I mean, they've been selling his merch for every city for this whole thing, which doesn't fit in the whole heel category anyway. The run has not been good. The Travis Scott stuff has been a disaster. I've been on record. I hated the finish at 41. So yeah, let's end this heel disaster as soon as possible. This has got the Death Riders of AEW written over it, where it's just not a good story. Just end it. Let's move on. It's just bad. It's not good. It was never going to be long lasting anyway, because Cena only had a short number of dates. So how much of a heel run is it really going to be? So,
I'm going to be honest with you. I think this is a bigger disaster if they end it quickly. If this weekend they give it to Cody and start turning John Cena face, it has been a complete failure. If this is going to be convincing, if this is going to be worthwhile, you have to run down the clock. You have to take this until December 31st or whenever the actual last date is, right? It's got to go down to the wire.
You could, and that's what I originally thought they were going to do the double turn. But at this point now, it looks more like they'll do the double turn early just to get it over with. I don't know.
Think they're doing a turn.
I think they are.
I have to wholeheartedly disagree with you there, okay. Anthony. I think people haven't been listening. John Cena's press conference, he sat there and he said, "I'm going to ruin wrestling. You get nothing." When John Cena was a face, he gave the fans everything he had every single time. Right now, you get nothing. You don't get a new song. You don't get new stuff. Them selling merch, the Judgment Day as heels were some of the biggest merch sellers of the time. So you can't look at it that way. I think Cena beats. I think this is the start of Homelander Cody coming, but I think Cena beats Cody again. It's going to be just it's not going to be your quintessential entertaining John Cena match. None of them have been. And that's what a heel is supposed to do. A heel is supposed to make you hate his run. So I feel Cena's heel turn has been everything he told us it was going to be. And people are just mad that it is, because people still want Cena to run out to the ring and salute and throw the armbands and all that stuff. He's given us none of it. He is being a true 180 of himself. So I think Cena's definitely, either he loses it in Boston or he walks away with it in Boston. But Cena's holding the title till December.
It has to do that, in my opinion. I completely agree. Fernando says the heel turn was flat to him. Wow, I loved the heel turn itself. I thought it was done well. Just WrestleMania, you mentioned it, Anthony. Travis Scott. That was where this thing kind of hit a road bump, and it was a big one.
The whole Rock thing and the Travis Scott thing was a disaster from day one. The Rock wasn't sticking around for this thing. It went nowhere. There's no proof. What did he sell out for? What did he sell his soul out for? Rock's not even there. It does. None of it makes any sense. What did he sell out for?
History.
For the 17th title that he was going to get anyway? What's the difference? It doesn't make any sense.
He got it early. I mean, old Cena would have fought and won it.
But did he need to turn? He already won the #1 contendership in the Elimination Chamber. Really didn't do anything. The Rock thing added 0 to this. You could have had the heel run on his own. The Rock didn't add anything to it.
Look at Cena's run before that. Cena had lost the Solo. He was just
the only guy to lose the Solo.
He lost to Austin Theory.
That was a horrible match,
but it was still a loss. Like he was on a losing streak.
He lost. It is true.
Where is Austin now?
What other reason to turn? He lost.
They could have justified it a lot better, because to your point, Ant, they've literally been telling this story. He was taking loss after loss. He needed a change. He just didn't need The Rock or Travis Scott.
Yeah,
just do
exactly.
A shock turn, and they should have done it in the WrestleMania main event as well. I think they should have done it, that big shock factor there.
The Rock part I was okay with. The Rock trying to get Cody to sell his soul, and then
which also made no sense,
the throat slash. But that should have been it. Travis Scott shouldn't have been a part of it at all. I agree 1,000% with that. Travis Scott ruined that whole WrestleMania thing, the whole WrestleMania spot.
Yeah, he did. And the fact there was only one run in as well, it was just so dumb. Roundhead says The Rock should be ashamed of himself. The turn should not have involved The Rock. Being The Rock's champion is pointless. To be fair, Cena actually isn't The Rock's champion. And this was where I think a lot of us fans originally got confused. But we got confused because they didn't explain it. It's not like they explained it well and we still got confused. They just didn't explain it. But Cody was meant to be The Rock's champion. Cody said no. And that's when then Cena turned on him, and The Rock and Cena had clearly already been in cahoots about it. But Cena never actually sold his soul to The Rock.
He did. He was the guy.
No, he
he
didn't.
turned.
He said he didn't in a promo. He said, literally like
Yeah.
a month ago in a promo, he said he didn't sell his soul to The Rock.
So what was the turn for then?
Well, this is where it doesn't make sense, because what would
Punishment
have
for
happened
Cody.
if Cody said yes?
Again, dumb.
I
Dumb
agree.
booking.
That segment was in hindsight. It was, but I also do think it cannot end this Saturday, because
Oh no,
this Sunday, I should say.
I would let it go to the last match and then do the double turn. But if they want Cena as the face during the last, I don't know, 5-6 appearances, whatever it is, then I could see them doing it at SummerSlam. If it's not in Boston, then it's this weekend.
I mean, there is
Unfortunately-
also the question about whether or not the actual double turn would work, because we had Jimmy Corderos on the podcast on Friday, and both him and Donnie De Silva both said that they don't think it could really convincingly happen, because there are so many things which would need to be perfect for that to happen with the crowd, that they just don't think they'll be able to make that convincing.
You mean a New
on
York
Sunday.
crowd wouldn't turn on him, and a Boston crowd wouldn't turn on?
No, I
beating
think they
the
turn on
chosen one?
Cody,
That's what I'm saying.
but I think
They'll
they'll be
boo Cody.
turned on Cody from the start, in which case, yeah.
So it
if
won't be
I-
a problem in New York or Boston.
No, because
If
they'd
I
have to
was
be
gonna-
cheering
if I
for
was-
Cody first for a double turn to be effective.
If I was going to fantasy book this, and if I was going to book this in a way that made it make sense, I would have Cena beat Cody this weekend. You start to see the degradation of Cody. It carries out Cody's fighting to get back, doing all the things. I wouldn't have Seth Rollins come and cash in this weekend on anyone if that's a.
I don't
if
think he
that's a
can.
Work. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. I've heard people say it's a work. If it's a work, don't have it happen. And I would have Cody claw and work his way back, hard times, finish the story, whatever. In Boston, you have Cena retain one more time, and that's when Cody loses it. Cody loses it, or I would do a Saturday night main event, and then
That's
you
where I
have
think it
Cody
is, isn't
win. Is it a Saturday? Okay, well have
Yeah,
I think it is.
apparently the last event's going to be a Saturday night's main event. Yeah.
have Cody win it, and then that's when you have Seth Rollins come in, cash in on Cody, and take him out. And that's how you get Homelander Cody, because he's done everything to get the title back in Boston, just like his dad was at MSG, wins it, loses it, and then we can get whatever we want from Cody.
That would be interesting. But what I'd actually, because you've just given me this idea now, based on what you were saying, that maybe they do all of that where he does lose, he does start to, beat himself up, but he eventually does earn that title shot against Cena in Boston at Saturday night's main event. But at that point, Cody wins it by turning heel. And that's when you do the turn. So you push it all the way to the last day. Can Cody save the company? Can Cody do all this? Well, it turns out Cody's going to turn heel to actually do it. That's what I actually would do. So near enough.
I think you absolutely do the heel turn, but I think you give Cody a stable, almost a King's Court type deal. I mean, he is a king of the ring and all that other stuff. That's when you bring in his buddies. That's when you bring in Ricky Saints and Ethan Page, and you bring in those people that he's tied to. And
You already have a top heel faction of singles guys.
not on SmackDown.
I
be on
feel
SmackDown.
like they're doing the same thing on both shows. It's, I think, too similar.
Okay, so the one on Raw has a crippled Seth who's not there.
But he'll
So
be
it's
there
not-
by then.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
We don't know what his situation is.
I wouldn't overshadow it, because as soon as you do that, it would make that faction feel a lot less important. There are two factions with just tons of solo guys in them.
Yeah, but only one of them only one of them would have the world title at that point. We don't know if Seth's group's going to have the world title and what they're going to be doing.
I reckon they will. The second Rollins is cleared, he's cashing in that Money in the Bank briefcase. He's taking.
He's probably taking it off of Punk. That's probably who he's taking it off of. He ain't going for Cody.
That makes the most sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're saying Punk's beating Gunther this weekend?
I think that's a possibility.
Yeah. I think
absolutely. I think that's why you made it the main event. I think you made it the main event because Punk's going to win.
Under over 2 weeks before Punk gets injured as champion this time.
No, that's only an AEW.
It was crazy. He was so cursed. Every time he got the belt, he'd just get injured. But Roundhead said they could do it if Seth is out long term. Plus, he could get another injury in the next year as well. I mean, that's not predicting.
That could be true for anybody.
Predicting an injury.
That could be true for anybody in wrestling.
Right.
Carmelo Hayes should retire Cena, says DCX Warlord. I'd like that one for sure.
I think he's going to do AJ. If he's going to get anybody, he's probably going to get AJ.
I'd love that. That would be the perfect last match for AJ Styles. Up next, let's move on to the next question, because the next question was submitted.
Go ahead.
The next question was... So flipping out. My phone's gone off again. What is happening here? The next question is by Vernon_Dagod 8206, who says Brock Lesnar was the right man to end the Undertaker streak. It's just the match itself that sucked. Anthony, obviously you're a big Undertaker guy. You've been a big Undertaker guy.
He's the one that got me in the business.
Years. Wow. Mm-hmm. What's your thoughts on this take?
Okay, Vernon, you're going to probably hate me for this. But no, Brock was never the right guy. To end the Undertaker streak, that's debatable. A lot of people feel that he should have never lost it. That's part of the mystique of the Undertaker character. But I always felt that if he was going to lose it, he needed to make somebody. It needed to make a wrestler. It needed to bring somebody to a different plateau. Brock was already made. Brock was a multi-time WWE champion. He did not need the win. History has shown, I thought it was a mistake at that time. The years have not made it any better. It's not the match itself. Yeah, Taker got injured during it, got concussed. We know that. That didn't change the fact that, it didn't make anybody. Undertaker's streak, if you want to end it, there's only two people that have ever beaten him at Mania, Brock and Roman. If you were going to do it, should have been Taker's last match, should have been Roman. Roman should have been the guy. Because obviously we know Roman became the guy as the face of the company with the bloodline. So I always felt that it should have been somebody making somebody. It would have made Roman at that point. You beat Taker. Would it have been controversial? Would people have been mad? Yeah, they were booing him anyway because he was the chosen one. You could have gotten the bloodline sooner, in theory, if you would have embraced him as the heel. When I've retired the Undertaker, the legend, the conscious of WWE, the arguably one of the greatest legends of all time in this company. That's who you make. Brock, what would Brock get out of that? Really? What did he get? Oh, moniker the Conqueror? Yeah, okay. That really didn't do anything. It hasn't aged well. It didn't elevate Brock to another level. It didn't.
I will say this one thing, right? To play devil's advocate for a second, even though, to be honest, Anthony, I do agree with you. For my generation, after Brock Lesnar had been gone for so long, yes, he'd returned. Yes, he had a couple of big feuds, of course, John Cena and stuff like that. But him ending the streak really made Brock feel like, oh, wow, this guy is now like the top level, which was something I didn't really feel about Brock Lesnar as a kid myself, because I didn't know all the stuff that he did before he returned to the company. So it did, I think, for my generation, establish him as that top guy.
Yeah, I mean, I listen, I can't speak from your perspective, but I could say he's multiple-time world champion, former UFC champion. He had all this aura already around him. I don't feel, in my opinion, that it elevated him. But, obviously you feel differently because you're from a different generation. So
Yeah. And interestingly, Fernando says the same thing as well. And so does numero one Superfly as well. But then Roundhead said Bray Wyatt is the only right one. Either that or nobody. That's an interesting take.
listen, I always felt it was either nobody. I would have been completely fine with that streak remaining intact, and he retired
That's
undefeated
insane.
at Mania. That in an ideal world, that's where I always felt it should have been. But if he was going to lose it, I felt that it should have made somebody, and it should have been his last match. Obviously, he didn't lose his last match. He beat AJ and drove off into the sunset, which I thought was a phenomenal visual. Obviously, COVID brought us that, but that I love the way they handled that, his final match and the driving off. If he would have remained undefeated, it would have made it even better.
We got a couple more comments here. Phantom X1 is saying that he stopped watching wrestling for a while after Brock broke the streak, as that was something which was meant to stay unblemished, and Shard agrees as well, Anthony, that he just should not have ever lost.
It was part of the mystique of the Undertaker character. He was undefeated at Mania. Like it was unique. It was different. I never felt, it's predictable, he's guaranteeing the win. Like it was special. It was equivalent to a world title in a lot of instances. I mean, WrestleMania 25, that should have been the main event. They wised up at 26. At the end of the day, the match with Taker at Mania was just as valuable for a talent to be in than, if not more, than a world title match.
Yeah. No, you're completely bang on right about that. One thing I will say is
talk about it, and Sean talk about it and stuff like that. Like they valued that, and not like that spot was amazing to them.
They wanted originally they wanted Kane to do it even before they even realized there was a streak. Kane didn't do it. Edge they offered it to, and he went absolutely not. Under no circumstances am I beating the dead man. Like people recognize that you should not beat the dead man. The streak should have remained unblemished.
I'm going to be honest.
Said no, and his moniker was Mr. WrestleMania.
Arguably, Undertaker is the only other person you could call Mr. WrestleMania because it's
it's one of the two. That is for sure.
Yes.
But I will say this though, to be honest, right? I do think the streak should have ended. And the reason for that is that it is like one of the biggest things in wrestling, but it should have created a star. That is where I will say it should have created somebody new. It should have been a heel to do it because they will get heat for it.
A perfect example, obviously he wasn't around at the time, but either a Jacob Fatu or a Braun Breaker would have been the ideal choice to be the one to end the streak and Taker's career at a Mania, because that would elevate them to an unbelievable level that money can't buy.
Yeah, no, you're bang on right about that. Josie Curry says Brock needs to come back. Nah, I'm honestly, I'm good.
I'm good. Brock. I've seen enough of Suplex City. I'm good.
I mean, I agree 1,000% with you, Ian. And I wholeheartedly believe that Undertaker should not have ever lost that streak. I felt like his last match should have been a young guy, as you guys are saying, and that young guy should have gave the Undertaker the fight of his life.
I would have been okay with Roman, in all seriousness. Of the two people that beat him, I would have been okay if it was Roman, especially if it was the last match, because what Roman would become.
Right. I'm just saying, you don't break the streak, though.
No.
And then you
Fair
have
enough.
Undertaker raise the kid's hand. You have Undertaker give him the rub, and that's the guy who goes on. But you do not beat
like Taker did with Jeff Hardy in the ladder match.
Yeah.
Taker
That's
won,
true too.
but
that
he elevated Jeff to a
people.
whole nother level as a single star.
That's true.
What's his
and
catchphrase? I'll make you famous.
Yes. That
And
ring
even at his
that ring
I'm trying to get on, guys. Right, anyway, make sure to go over and download the Etsy app if you have not already. It's on the App Store. It's on the Google Play Store. You can head to the upcoming stream section on there, and we go live We're trying to go live on them more regularly, and we will be doing in the next few weeks. And yeah, you can jump on, you can argue with us, you can argue with Clark about the Cody's tie clips. You can argue with me about Taker's streak. You can do all of that type of stuff. Make sure to download the app. And you is always on over there as well. It is fantastic, and it's fantastic, guys, over there. Also, make sure to subscribe to our second channel, Wrestling Republic Undercard, for exclusive videos, clips, and more. Right, back to the show, back to the mailbag, because up next, we have a question from @GurunSantos31, who says the roster, and this is the WWE roster, is too bloated. It is starting to feel like the 2022-23 AEW roster when it comes to hiring talent. The roster is way too stacked, but they insist on getting more and more people when there's just no space for anybody. And I want to get your perspective on this. What are your thoughts?
So I feel as though it's interesting to watch how the WWE roster has influxed. And, you know, when everybody was leaving WWE and going to AEW, they were going for more creative control, being able to do what they wanted. They didn't want to be a part of the machine anymore. They felt they know better than what Vince did. And a lot of them were true on that. But AEW's roster got so big, people were coming over, you were getting excited for it, and then you just didn't see him on TV. WWE is doing the same, but I think WWE is trying to combat that now with all of the shows that they're giving us, right? So it's not just the three main shows, it's not just Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, but now you've got LFG, you've got Evolve, you've got all this stuff that WWE is giving us content for, that they're giving talent an opportunity to get on screen. A lot of the casuals aren't watching that stuff, and that's what's going to hurt them. But WWE's got a problem where they don't have a lot of, I'm going to say, 28 to 36-year-old wrestlers. They've got a lot of older wrestlers, and they've got a ton of younger wrestlers. So at some point, you know, our favorites, our older guys, are not going to be there anymore. So this influx of young talent that they're pulling in from AEW, the Ethan Pages, the Ricky Saints, the Blake Monroes, all those people are going to be valuable parts of the company moving forward, along with all of the NXT D1 athletes that they're picking up and stuff like that. So, you know, you've got guys on TV now that are going to lead it, like your Braun Breakers, your Ilya Dragunovs, Carmelo Hayes. Those guys are going to be your future stars that we're talking about in the future. There's definitely differences, but I can see why people feel that it is the way it is. So, I mean, that's my take on that. I think WWE's roster is going to be good. As of right now, there's a lot of people we don't see, but the machine's going to keep going. The machine's going to keep on.
Yeah, honestly, I think you are bang on there that, you know, and I've been saying it for a long time, between the ages of 25 to 35, they don't have many wrestlers at all. And it is an issue. And if they're signing people in that age range, I agree. I think it's a smart move. If they're signing younger talents, I think it is a smart move. But where I am going to agree with Mr. Grum Santos 36 is that I don't understand for the life of me why they are signing wrestlers over the age of 38 when they already have so many of those. And the issue is they're going to be retired in 5-10 years. And at that point, like we said, there's not really many people who are younger, so they don't have time to be able to build all these stars. There's less TV time on WWE television than there's been in quite a while, with Raw now being 2.5 hours and SmackDown being 2 hours. Obviously, like you said, there's LFG and all these shows as well for younger stars. But in terms of the actual roster, I'm going to be honest, I don't really understand why they brought back a Rusev, why they brought back an Aleister Black, why they even brought back an Andrade, because they don't have time for those talents like a Carmelo Hayes, who should be getting more TV time, and Austin Theory too. That is the next generation, and it's not like those guys are like really, really young. All of them are around 30 now too. So, I mean, you got to start, properly making them the stars instead of just showcasing more and more people who I just don't feel like it's necessary.
Not every talent that they bring in is supposed to be a long-term investment. They bring them in to put other younger talent over.
But
that's why they're
doing
bringing
that.
a lot of those in.
But they're
Listen,
not
Austin
doing it.
Theory's
They're
had
beating
multiple opportunities, and none of them have panned out. I'm not going into that long rant.
I am. He's looked great the last couple of years. He's gotten me fans on his side. If you see these videos of the dark matches he's doing, fans are going crazy for him. Yet Triple H isn't giving him an opportunity on screen.
Yeah, you know what? I think that's a situation where it's, oh, we'll check the flavor of the month that they're not paying attention to, and we're going to force people to like them. This is the same thing they do every time.
Yeah. I mean, you saw the pop Dominic Mysterio got in Mexico.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
that's true.
Like,
and Dom's getting pushed because he deserves it
a lot.
Yes.
So does Theory, though. Theory was thrown into the deep end, given some of the worst creative I have seen in years with that egg storyline by Vince McMahon. Yes, Vince was pushing him, but what did it really mean for a 2021 Vince McMahon to make you the guy? That made fans turn on him more because everybody was thinking Vince has already lost the plot. He's wrong, they pushed back against it.
But he was still a heel. It wasn't like they were trying to push him as a face like Roman.
But
he was pushing him as a heel.
He was given
in the audience,
stuff.
And he had go home heat. That wasn't, we love him as a bad guy. It was, get him off my TV.
Yeah. But when he's not on TV and we forget about him,
yes,
and you bring him back and you have him hit a big spot, attack someone, do something, right? Like it's all psychology at this point. You know, he was with
Waller,
the shoe drinker,
Gargano.
No, the Aussie
Waller.
Right, he was with Waller, and they were a comedy act.
Mm-hmm.
Like no one took them seriously. So now you put Waller with the New Day, and Waller's going to be the new, pardon my language, but the new White Butler for the New Day. And you get him away from Theory. You forget Theory. You bring Theory back in a serious capacity. Have him do something huge, and now all of a sudden he doesn't have that stink of that tag team on him anymore.
Yeah. That's what I hope they do, honestly, because you are right. That is the solution, and it's a great solution for sure. MDB says, I agree, Austin Theory needs a big push. However, he was tag team champion twice last year. We can't say he wasn't given any moments. Waller was given the mic for basically all of it. He was, again, made to look like an idiot. But there are solutions.
Listen, I've seen Theory since his Evolve days. And my opinion on him, I've not seen any evolution of him from back in the day. Like, I see no advancement from this guy. I really don't. Great in-ring talent. Great in-ring talent, but I don't get it on the mic. I don't get it in the ring. I don't get it. Cena didn't make him. Cena tried to make him.
I know in the US you guys don't get these promos that happen during commercials.
No,
but
we
have
don't.
you not seen? Right, okay. He's been cutting amazing promos. Amazing. Okay. I have also been watching him since his Evolve days, and he has evolved. He is fantastic, right? And I think he deserves another chance. Then sure, if they push him again and he fails, release him. Then he can rebuild himself out elsewhere. But the fact is, he deserves a chance.
How many times has he been repackaged? Two NXT runs, multiple times on the main roster repackaged, and it's never panned out.
Not multiple times, once.
What?
Yeah, he went from the cell phone guy to who he is now.
Yes.
Yeah, it was the cell phone guy. But I don't understand all the motivational stuff he's been doing. Just have him come back. Like he's built, like he's got the look.
Oh, he has the look.
He's got everything. He's got the look. He's got, he can talk when you need him to.
Mm-hmm.
Just have him come back and be a badass. That's all he needs to do.
I don't think he could pull off a babyface. I really don't. He's been a heel his entire career. Yeah,
that's the thing. Rough him up a little bit. Have him grow a little bit of a scruffy beard. Have him grow his hair out a little bit more and mess it up a little bit.
So you want a Jack Perry turn? Is what you want? You want a Jack Perry run?
Yeah, just rough him up a little bit. Make him look, a little.
He's the scapegoat with the egg on the back of the jacket.
But NDB also says fans need to understand, and this is a great comment, the push isn't just getting wins in the ring, it's screen time, segments, promos, marketing campaigns, etc. Carmelo won the Andre the Giant Battle Royale, which was a big moment, but what have they done since? Nothing with him, really, especially since The Miz left television. Get them on TV. If you're on TV every single week, that means something. And you mentioned Dominic Mysterio. That's a great one. He was an idiot every single week. He was losing every single week, but he was on TV every week.
He was getting booed. He was getting a reaction from the fans. If you're not getting a crowd reaction, whether it be good, bad, or, good or bad, it doesn't matter. If you're coming out there and, if you're coming out and the crowd's going to the bathroom, well, you're not going to get a lot of TV time.
That's true.
But
That
Dominic
is true.
Couldn't speak. Dominic couldn't speak. I don't know if some of that was pumped in, but Dominic would try to talk on the mic and they would boo him out of the stadium. It was fun to boo the shit out of Dominic.
Dominic needed to get out of Ray's shadow. I wrote about it.
Yeah.
Prior to it, I'm like,
and
he needs to embrace the Guerrero part, and he did. And that's why he got over, because he needed to get out of, it's just Ray's son. He had to get out of that.
You are right. And he did it. It worked, and it worked perfectly. But up next, we got to get on to our main topic for today, because the final submission is from Akara Sucks VII, who says Triple H's long-term storytelling excuse is typically just bad booking with slow burn, because slow builds don't always mean good builds. He's nowhere near as bad as Vince, but he is inconsistent with 50-50 booking, and a lot of people are giving him a pass more than they should be. Do you know what? I actually mostly agree with this opinion. I do. I think the biggest issue which WWE have right now, though, to be fair to Triple H, is there are too many shows. There are too many Saturday night's main events. They're having to rush too many stories. A lot of people aren't there a lot of weeks during storylines they are telling, which is a whole other issue. There's way too much part-time nonsense going on. But you are right. Week to week, they aren't telling compelling storylines. There's no story really going to SummerSlam right now, other than maybe the Naomi, Rhea Ripley stuff, and Io Sky, of course, where it actually feels like a SummerSlam program. It does all feel a little bit lazy, if I'm being honest. And I want to get your take on this out of the gates.
So when Triple H took over, the whole consensus with me and all of my people were, let's give him a year. Let's give him a year, WrestleMania to WrestleMania, see what happens. And there was a lot of good stuff there. But there was a lot of rolling on that was there. And I think right now, Triple H, Triple H needs to turn over creative to Paul Heyman. We've already seen that Paul Heyman can just pull the crowd in on everything. The 5 years of the Bloodline storyline was the best thing in wrestling that I can remember for a really long time. I think if you gave Paul Heyman the reins and just let him have his finger in everything, he can tell a great story. Trip, you're a man of you're a former wrestler, you're a wrestler guy, but I think right now it's just starting to get a little overabundant. Yeah, I don't know if TKO has a lot to do with this, but yeah, it seems like we have a PLE twice a month, and that's way too much. I miss the days back in the 80s or early 90s where you had 6 PLEs a year. You had the 4 big ones, and then there were just 2 other ones that they threw in. But it gave you time to write compelling stories, and you were excited for it. I'm excited because it's the first 2-day SummerSlam, and I think there's going to be a lot of surprises and a lot of stuff that they're not telling us about in order to make this SummerSlam special. But for a casual fan that's looking at the matches, I don't know why anyone would watch it. If you didn't already have Peacock, and it was there, well, like if you had to order a pay-per-view like you did before, I don't know many people that would drop $70 to watch this.
Wow.
That's
And
my opinion.
honestly, I agree with you, Andy. You are right, though, I think. I don't necessarily think that Triple H needs to give over the book completely, but maybe give one brand to Paul Heyman, because you've got a creative genius like him there. Why aren't you letting him do more? MDB says, come on, man. You all have to stop it with a hyperbole. Triple H is the reason why NXT is what it is today. His booking has always been long-term, but that's the thing. That's the difference. NXT was 1 hour a week when he was in charge. 1 hour a week, 4 NXT takeovers a year, maybe 5 some years. Way less events, way less to think about.
I need to comment on that, because if you think Shawn Michaels isn't doing an amazing job, and I will be the first person to say, I believe Shawn Michaels was doing a lot of the booking and stuff when Triple H was in charge.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
I don't think
an
Shawn was
amazing job.
there during that peak, wasn't it?
He
Wasn't
was
it
there
Regal?
during the peak.
Shawn
He
was
was there
there.
during the peak. He
Okay.
wasn't there for the early, like, black and gold days, but he was
Yeah, that's
there
what I'm talking about, the
during
black and gold one.
1819. 1819, the peak of
Yeah.
black and gold, he was there
Right,
for.
like when Shinsuke and Finn Balor and Samoa
No, that
Joe
was
and
Triple
all
H.
those guys,
That
No,
was
it was all
before.
Triple H.
That was before. Yeah.
that was Triple H. But no, but Shawn came in right at that time.
Yeah, right. Just about after Shinsuke got called up was when Shawn came in.
Yes. So yeah,
So for the Johnny
you had Samoa
Garganos and
Joe.
all that. Yeah.
yeah.
But, Anthony, I want to get your take on this. What is your take?
My take is this. I have no problem with long-term booking. I prefer long-term booking. I think there's an entire generation. It's like, I want instant gratification. I don't want to wait. I think the writing has not been the best. The storytelling hasn't been the best. But it's kind of ironic, because I felt the same way about Marvel with Endgame. Once you hit that Endgame, it's very hard to duplicate that. And they had the same problem. After 40, you're like, okay, now what are you going to do? So I think it's a major problem there. I don't think it's, oh, you got to turn over the book. As far as Heyman helping out backstage, we know inside Paul Heyman's Hall of Fame ring is Conciliary. I'm sure he's participating back there that you don't know. Maybe we'll see more when Unreal airs. Maybe he's involved with stuff. Who knows? But I mean, it's very difficult to book 52 weeks a year, multiple shows, multiple hours a week. Fans all think, oh, I could book it. No, you can't. Very few of them can. I am not even that arrogant. I can come up with ideas. I can come up with storylines. Do I think I could book single-handedly for 52 weeks a year? No, I'm not crazy. So, they do need a kick in the pants on what they're doing creatively, but audiences are still going there. The ratings are still doing fine. They're doing numbers. Until numbers start to dwindle, I'm not as panicky, but they do need some influx of something at the moment.
I think you hit the nail on the head, honestly, there. The fact that not one person can do it all. I think they need to actually kind of view it almost more like how they're currently viewing DC, right? Where they have James Gunn overseeing everything, but he's actually only directing 1 or 2 projects.
Yeah,
he's bringing in different directors for different shows, different stories.
I don't think that's a bad idea. I don't think that's a bad idea to get somebody like a Heyman. Even I don't know if they would even go this route. I would bring in a Scott D'Amore, to be honest with you. If you really wanted to, that's what I'm saying. He's available. So I would not think that's a bad idea. And Hunter overseeing it, because Scott's proven that he knows what he's doing. Heyman's proved that he knows what he's doing. I think that would be solid. Shawn's doing fine in NXT. You have Punk back there. You have people that have knowledge and know how to do stuff and can help. Whether or not Punk wants an executive position now, I know he doesn't, but he can help out in different ways back there, offering ideas for, whatever. I don't think it's going to be a long-term problem. I don't.
Hopefully not. Hopefully they recognize this quickly.
Everything goes in cycles.
That is true. That is very, very true. And Phantom is saying that some fans think that it is universe mode, and that is a great point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eric Denton, to very quickly we'll close on his thought. Long-term booking isn't the problem. AEW just finished 2-year storytelling with Hangman and it ruled. Triple H is stuck in Vince's world of storytelling instead of making WWE his own image. I disagree with that, but I'm
Yeah, I
sure
don't
we'll
agree with that
discuss
at
it
all.
more another day, Eric. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you to Anthony, and happy birthday again, Anthony.
Thank you.
And shout out to Ant you as well. We will be back same time, same place tomorrow to talk a little bit of Monday Night Raw. Have a fantastic day, everybody. Peace.